Hey, this is Ronnie, and this is the Rescue Ronnie Show. Today, I want to give a few reminders of what's going on with this coronavirus and how we can kind of make the best out of what we have. So stick around, check it out. All right, so I wanted to do a couple reminders to people that in this time of tragedy and we're having a lot of unknowns and people are freaking out and some people aren't, remind you to care about and enjoy the things that you do have and maybe stop dwelling so much on what we don't have and what we can't do, right? So I took a couple notes. I won't read them verbatim, but I wanted to remind myself and also remind you that this time that we're having to stay home from work and not do as much as we want and be quarantined, spend some time with the people that you actually love and that you enjoy, and the people like your kids, right, that may not get all your attention all the time because you're busy working and you have crazy things going on in your life, and we have to get groceries and we have to shop and we have to do all these things in our life. So spend this time by maybe doing a teaching class with your kids, or exercising together, or even reading a book together. Some of the things that you may not normally have the time to do, you may have more time now to enjoy the people that really love and care about you. Okay, so I also want to remind you that a lot of businesses are using curbside pickup as a way for us to not be in contact as much. So I want to remind you to use these services because people are providing really good services, and a lot of these are small businesses which I like to support and are really getting hit very hard during these times right now. So Skip's Kitchen is in Carmichael. It is a burger spot, and they do a lot of other foods. They are providing a curbside pickup where you call it in or do it on the internet and you order your food and they'll drop it off into your car and you drive away and you have very minimal contact with somebody. A lot of fast food restaurants are doing this as well. Grocery stores are doing this where you can order online. We use this service quite often, and then they come out and they load the groceries and you can help them if you want or not. Also, our store, Once Upon a Child, is doing a curbside pickup where if you have a need for kids' toys or clothes or some necessities for your kids, we can bring those out. You call us, call the store, and we can bring those out to you and then charge you at that time. So I want to remind you that we do have some curbside things to minimize your contact with other people. Also want to remind you, if your kids are normally on some sort of schedule when they're at school, so I would highly recommend and remind you that we want to try and keep their kids on a schedule as well. They seem to thrive very well in a scheduled environment. So normally your kids would go to school around 8. They do learning, then they have a snack, then they do PE, and then they have more learning, and then they go to lunch, and then they do recess. So that kind of schedule at home would be very, very advantageous, right? So make sure your kids are doing their homework at a certain time. If you can do a certain time, then they know what's coming up and they're not going to argue with us, right? Maybe have some chore time where they have some responsibilities and some chores like they would at school. And then also remind them that we have to work as well, right? So we want to schedule out some time where we can work so they have some downtime. Maybe they're reading to themselves or enjoying something else in their life, right? Another reminder, I want to also remind everybody that we're in this together and we need to really pull together during these times. And you see this when there's natural disasters or something like that. And this is what it kind of reminds me of, is that we all need to pull together and do the right thing. If your neighbor needs help, if your parents need help, if your mom needs help, let's all pull together. Check in on the people that you love and that love you. If you have parents or grandparents or friends, check in with them. Keep the morale up. And make sure that you're loving on everybody and making them feel good. Let's get through this together. And then also in the comments below, I want to make sure that if you can, put your challenges that you're challenging right now in this coronavirus pandemic and sticking home and being quarantined. What are your challenges? And let's try and do this as a group and get through these challenges together. So if you can post those, we can try and challenge and tackle those challenges together. So I think that would be awesome. And my tagline normally always is have the best day of your life, and I want to make sure that you try and have the best day of your life. I know this may not be the best day of your life, but just try and have the best day of your life. So as always, have the best day of your life, and adios.